Welcome to Verbal Prick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. Look, we want to get into the post-corona, post-COVID-19, and give you all an image, a view of what the world will look like once we come fully up out of this pandemic, if we come up out of this pandemic. And I'm glad to have on the show with me than none other than my brother Marcus Muhd. Marcus Muhd, welcome to the show, God.
Thank you, brother. Salam.
Yeah, well, like salam, God. But you know, and the reason being is because during this current pandemic, we weren't able to get a full confidence in the government because they had too many different ideologies on what to be done. And you all saw the famous footage of your president looking over at Miss Burks, seeing if possible you can inject yourself with some type of disinfectant. Although he came out later and said, no, I was being sarcastic and he was joking. But some people took that serious. And it even prompted the Lysol, the owners of Lysol, to come out with a warning saying, do not attempt to do this at home, you know. So question I'm asking is, and I'm building up to, is the fact that whether it's religious, whether it's the government, the White House, whether it's teachers, has the population lost faith in its leaders? You know, how do you feel about that, Brother Moore?
I feel that they have, and they have a good reason to. And not everyone. You still have what they call that base 40% they're gonna go with the president's word, whatever he says. And it's unfortunate in a lot of cases, like the example that you just gave with the disinfectant statement and people running out grabbing a brand and using it on themselves. Sometimes you have to be able to use common sense and discern what the man is saying, especially with this sort of linguistics that he likes to use that presidents don't normally use and people are not used to hearing from a president.
Right. And you know, it's like it says, you know, and you hear the old saying, everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die to get there. So when you see those numbers up past 60,000 now, a lot of people are panicking. They're like, oh man, what's going on? Man, we'll try anything, you know, just save me, save me, save me. Because first of all, a lot of people don't know the ins and outs of dealing with debt, and a lot of people want to preserve their lives, meaning that we are looking for this quote unquote fountain of youth. You see some would take certain types of medications or herbal pills or whatever they can do to stay to be young, to preserve this life. So when you have something that's an unseen enemy, this virus that's threatening their very lives, people are panicking and they don't know which way to turn to. And for some reason, that also increases suicide rates. And Trump even said that, hey man, if this economy fall, you'll see people killing themselves in the streets because man has put his whole faith into materialism and in man. And whenever you do that and not in the creator who created all that you see, then of course you lose faith, or you'll be up under some sort of how can I say, some sort of illusion, thinking that your salvation is in materialism or in man. And we seeing that it doesn't work. And one of the things I'm saying it is because, you know, when you go back through scriptures and you go back through Babylon and you go back through when Rome fell and when Greece fell and some of the things that led up to those things that fell, was immoral behavior that the whole society had participated in, and from these actions causes certain reactions, and now we are where we are at today. So, furthermore, coming up out of this pandemic, how can we curve the minds of the people to accept the fact that this universe judges your actions?
One thing we probably can be sure of is that everyone has learned something new about themselves in their state of quarantine or social distancing or just watching the news. You probably had to go within yourself to find out some solutions on your own because, like the brother just said, the government really can't be relied upon to give you the true facts about what's going on. So I would take those skills and clues about yourself seriously into heart and try and develop those to take you on into the future because the things won't be the same as they were before this all started taking place.
That's right. Learn all about yourself because why? You are the book. You the individual. You are your own book. Study your damn self so you can know what to do. And you know what I mean? So you can better you as an individual. You trust me. Study who you are. Because we can go all the way back to the beginning of time, right? And they say in the beginning was the word. Hold on, before I go. If it seems like I'm doing a little preaching, that's all because today's Sunday. I feel like preaching, so I'm preaching.
Go ahead, brother.
But if you go back to the beginning of time, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And then when God breathed His essence into man, into the being of man, there was that word was a sense of knowledge that you came prepared with. That knowledge is in you from birth. Certain knowledge, as an example, you instinctively know when when you're laying on your back or your stomach as a child, you instinctively know, hey man, damn, I need to start trying to learn how to crawl. Then from that, hey man, I need to learn how to start walking. So you pulling yourself up on certain objects to try to get your balance so you can stand straight up. And you will hear Minister Farrakhan speak on the child pulling himself up, finding things from that inside knowledge, from the essence of that being, of that knowledge, to where the child instinctively knows it's time. You know, because it's time. It's a time for when the child is laying. Then it comes a time when he wants to crawl. Then it comes a time when he knows he needs to start standing up. Then it comes a time when the child knows he needs to walk and start moving, because those instinctive knowledge was put into you from the very beginning of your being. So now we have individual. Now you're an individual. You come with certain instincts and certain knowledge. But lo and behold, you got an opponent. You got an enemy. You got what they call Satan, the devil, or your lower nature that say, well, you know what? Let's explore a different side of life. And let's go into the dark. Let's see what kind of mischief we can get into. Because there's knowledge and mischief. And we're gonna and work with us because we're gonna climb this thing all the way up into today's time. But we starting at the beginning of that individual being that you are, right? So you as an individual, now you knowing from testing that dark side, but up against the knowledge that the Creator gave you. Why? Because they explain it in the Bible. You ate from the tree of knowledge of knowing right from wrong. So when they ate from the tree of knowledge, right, learning right from wrong, what did that do to man and woman? Because now they know right from wrong. Right. Or they know good from evil, or you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Well, Adam was once himself an angel before he fell. but he was endowed with the ability to have free will. That's what God gave him. God gave him his image and his likeness. So he was created with the dominion over the heavens and the earth. He was supposed to become the second self of God, but he wasn't willing to follow the instructions of God, plain and simple. Simply, just put it simply, don't eat the apple, and he ate the apple, which exposed himself to too much of himself at the improper time. So he had all the attributes of God, the truthful, the mighty, the wise, the strong, all the attributes. It's 99 plus a few, plus a couple, 101. And he wasn't ready to handle all of those attributes of himself. So he failed.
So was that the consequence from not obeying the Creator's will?
Exactly.
Okay. So there is a such thing called karma.
Oh, for sure, brother. That's just a word that people give God's retribution. Punishment. It's just another word for the same old thing that we all know. Put your hand on the fire, you're gonna get burned.
Because so what's the degrees of differences, if there are any, between that first atom, and I like to say atom, A-T-O-M, and man today?
The degrees of differences.
Right. Meaning,
Oh, Adam.
Okay.
I thought you said atom. My bad.
Huh.
Adam. Well, Adam was the first.
Right. So the same essence that was in Adam is in us today.
Yes.
So if we make the same mistakes as Adam, we get punished too.
Yes.
So are we supposed to stay in that line of the vine that Adam was created to stay up under? Or the reason I'm asking that, because some say, well, Jesus came and died for our sins, so we don't have to walk under those same rules and instructions that the Creator gave Adam. We can venture out from that and still wouldn't have to face karmic law.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jesus died because of our sins. He didn't die for us to sin. He sacrificed himself because we were willing to sin rather than to completely follow him. Otherwise, I ain't gonna say we, but he was killed. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been killed if people were willing to follow his way.
So Abraham to Jesus. Abraham said, well, look, God said, okay, I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah for his acts. And Abraham said, well, what if I could find 100? What if I find 50? He couldn't find one. And so God rained down on Sodom and Gomorrah. Jesus saying, hey, let me die for man's sin to save man, because was God getting ready to destroy man again around that time? So Jesus had to die in order for God to destroy men for the action that men was doing, the same as it was in Sodom and Gomorrah.
And not at that time. He was 2,000 years too soon, and we know that now. He was a sign of one to come and fulfill his ways. And so he said himself, I go away so the Comforter should come unto you. So no, it wasn't time for God to destroy. It was time for mercy and for people to experience that mercy, because the only thing that the people understood at the time of his coming was the law that they were breaking, but they didn't have a sense of that divine mercy in its fullest extent as what Jesus represented.
So for that divine mercy, time is the clock is steady ticking. But you saying man hadn't changed his ways.
From since when?
Man hasn't changed his ways from since Abraham and Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, they change and then they fall back.
Okay.
And then another guy comes and he says what God says, and they agree, some of them. And after he's gone, they say, well, let's do what we want to do again.
So at this point, okay, so the colonizer on the scene, right? So the colonizer has a job to keep the original children of the Creator away from the Creator? What's the colonizer's job? I mean, and I'm actually, the reason why I asked that question is because why the colonizer always got to find a way to attack the original children of the Creator? Why you got to come up with crack cocaine, to change being an indentured servant into hardcore slavery, snatch the land from the Native Americans, destroy Egypt? I mean, for what? What's the purpose?
It's his nature. If you got a graft, the graft can't survive without a host. So he has to subdue a people in order to survive as a people. And that's who we are. We are hosts of a graft. Parasite. So he can't exist on his own. He can't create on his own. So you go and grab people who are creating on their own to build yours rather than just building yours. So obviously you can't make it unless you have somebody up under your boot. And it's just the way these people operate. And it's unfortunate, but history best rewards our research. When we research, it's just what happens. And so even though we were let go from slavery, we weren't fully released. We weren't really re-educated. We weren't even given the 40 acres and a mule. We were just told, leave the plantation, so that we were allowed for a few centuries, for a few decades to build our own, and then the Night Riders came through and destroyed what we had built to put us back under sharecropping and different forms of slavery. Now it's the prison industrial complex and so on and so forth, so some people just have to have another people do their work for them.
So, but then, look, because this one gets me right. We know in Virginia, them tobacco plantation in Virginia, the first slave started with the white women. You had white men working alongside of black men in indentured servitude, or i.e. slavery. What happened to the white slaves? Or did they put well, no, I can tell you what happened. I know what happened to the white slaves. What happened was the white slaves were looking at the aristocrats like, hey, we the same color. Why we down here? Why we not making money with you? And they started up complaining because the black slave was right next to the white slave, right in the field. Then they said, okay, well, I tell you what, since you complaining, we'll make you like supervisors over the black slave, and we'll give you a tad bit, a little more than the black slave, but we're not gonna raise you up to our status of aristocrats and among the wealthy. That way those poor whites would never have the attitude of the rich whites. So we working alongside each other. They put the poor whites above the black slaves, the slave whites, not due to any kind of knowledge or education they had, was simply based upon skin color. And that was it. So now today, what happened to those? Because it was the thousands upon millions of enslaved whites that was in America. So what happened to their lineage? Meaning you didn't get the position out of your skill set or your mindset or the knowledge that you had. It was a form of affirmative action. We'll put you white slaves above the black slave simply because you are white brethren from Europe, but back in Europe you'd have been in prison, or you'd have been considered court justice or just simple laymen. But now in America we'll give you a degree, 1 degree, not even a whole degree. We give you a half degree over the black slaves. And so now today, you still see this manifest itself. You see poor whites who have nothing but yet only thing that they would cling on to is the fact that at least I'm better than you because I'm white, but don't have any skill set, anything to show that mentality, right? So doing this, and we tying all this into Corona now it would behoove them, or it should show that well, I don't care what color you are, when you are sick with the corona and you go into that hospital and that that black doctor or that black nurse is getting ready to give you aid to help save your life, are you going to return? Are you going to reject that doctor who obviously has more knowledge than you? Can you stand on the fact that, well, I'm white, so I'm better? Or will they come to their senses after this corona and realize that we are the same in the sense of far as your social standing or social bearing? Do you think that racist attitude would change after a pandemic such as this? Or will it still continue after this all over with?
Well, it remains to be seen, brother. You know, the jury is out on that one. We have to see.
Right.
It's a strong idea that they live by. They live and die by it.
Right. And the reason why I'm asking this is because we got a past history of why certain great civilizations was destroyed. Because once a mindset becomes the dominant mindset amongst the people, and it goes against the universal mindset, then the universal mindset will wipe that civilization out because it's causing harm to the planet, to the universe. It's contrary, and it can't justify its existence for being here. And that's why we have shows such as this, to just put something on your mind, just to make you think. Oh, yeah, by the way, though, for those of you that's listening, and those of you who send me messages asking me how can you donate, or where to donate to, because you know we've been running for 2 years and I never put out any way for those to donate, but it's getting to the point to where to satisfy the listening audience, you can cash app at hashtag Verbal Pig Radio, and that's the cash sign VERBALPICRADIO. And that's at Verbal Pig Radio on the Cash App. But what I'm saying is, we at the cusp of this thing, right? And I'm gonna ask you this question, if and you might can expound on it though, but our spirit or the energy that's in us, because we're going back to the beginning, was the word was with God. We know that's vibration, we know that sound, that energy that's in us that vibrates our thoughts up into the universe, or they'll say up into the heavens. You can't hide that frequency. So they say that the Creator knows all. So when you have a portion of the population whose energy is vibrating on what would be deemed a negative wave that's shooting straight up into this universe, and the universe, the Creator hears that or has knowledge of that, then judgment will be made upon the people. And this judgment won't be done by it will be done by man. No spirit and no spook walking around. This our list of the Satan, man, God, man, we all in flesh walking on this planet, right? So do you think that this COVID-19 is or that the Creator allowed this to happen as a warning to man and mankind?
It's written. plagues, wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, famine. We're just walking through the scripture, brother. So yes, sir, it was allowed by the God.
So what can we do to turn this thing around?
At this point, there is no turning it around. It's about responding properly and praying to the God. At one point in the scriptures, he tells the people just to go inside the houses and close the doors. You know, and
Quarantine.
it's quarantine. So, hey, that's where we are. We're living through the scriptures right now. I'm not saying stay locked in your house, never come outside, because then, hey, you won't be able to fight off any disease or infection or virus if you stay in your house on a constant basis.
Why is that?
Because the sun won't touch you, and the sun is here to nourish the earth, and you came from the earth. And your bones need that sun because that's where your immune system works from, your bones, your bone marrow, create antigens and antibodies to fight out viruses. So if you don't get enough sun, it don't matter how much you quarantine or how many vaccines you get, you won't be able to fight off any kind of foreign objects and substances that's going to come and affect your body. So yeah, we in it though. This is the scriptures in real time.
Right, like you said, we're in it. We all in it. We in this thing. We are recording history as we speak due to what's going on around us, because we don't know what things are going to look like when all of this is over. Will people go back feeling comfortable with flying? Or will there be a second wave, as they say? And if there is a second wave, they're saying the second wave will be worse than the first wave.
Yes, the second wave is coming, absolutely, because we still have an allergy season to go through and a flu season. And like we just said, you want to stay up in your house and don't get what your body needs. You susceptible. You ready. You set up for failure. And so, no, I don't think things will ever go back to the way they were before this virus hit. And that's the whole intention of it, of a God like we have for allowing it to happen. He's dissatisfied with the way things have been going, and why shouldn't he be? Think back. Was it really all that great before Corona hit? Were people doing what they're supposed to be doing? Were they planning the right plans? Were they thinking the right thoughts? I don't think so.
But now you're in the entertainment industry.
Yes, sir.
A-Tone Productions, Blade Remix, Slice of Cake, and we can go on. Did once media was invented, did it take over the minds and the will of the people? Did they go in and create this right through the screen in order to change the mindset, or take the mind off of the right path just by certain shows, or just by that TV screen? Is that TV screen, is that one of the biggest tools, or is that the biggest weapon?
It's up there it's up there. It's up there, brother. It has totally been weaponized. It's weapon. It's a weapon.
It's what man. We talking 5G, power of the media. You hear your president say fake news. Are there any such thing left as freedom of the press? You think?
Not mainstream press. No, that ain't free press at all. That's bought and controlled press.
Well, now, what we do is free press. We not about. We not controlled.
Right. So yes, it is a free press, but the mainstream press, no. Don't even think about that being free press. If it's not entertainment, it ain't nothing.
I'm Negus Rich. Ain't got a switch. Yeah, man. Remember the name, remember the name. Say Negus Rich, Negus Rich, ain't that a bitch? Yeah, yes. The rich nigga, remember the name, remember the name.
Fast cars, golden money, top shelf yak, with a taste of honey. Major connect like my name was bumpy. Ladies staring at me like my pockets is lumpy. International travel, get on board. Porsche splash like a plane when the pedal is floored. TV in the dash in case I get bored. I stay pulled up, I'm all screwed up. Headed to the south, the highlight red. Told me life is good, stay hungry, get fed. Hit the highway, collect my bread. Meditate for a moment, communicate with the dead. Cause
I'm Negus Rich, ain't that a switch? Yeah, man. The rich nigga, remember the name, remember the name. Say Negus Rich, Negus Rich, ain't that a bitch? Yeah, yes. The rich nigga, remember the name, remember the name.
I'm out here on my grind, life is a bitch. I do what I want because I'm Negus Rich. King niggas to Massa Musa, pyramids decked in gold is what we used to. Radiant soul vibrate, that's what we move to. High frequency living is what we will do. Major change in my life, so I guess I'll atone. Tell the world my account through a microphone. Guns down, cause you only hurting your own. Spaceship coming forth to carry me home. When I touch down, I never come back. Trapped in this white man's world, so I'm strapped. Negus Rich.
I'm Negus Rich, ain't that a switch? Yeah, man. A rich nigga, remember the name, remember the name. Say Negus Rich, Negus Rich, ain't that a bitch? Yeah, yes. The rich nigga, remember the name, remember the name.
Traumatic slave disorder, so you better not flinch. Woman, money, and clothes, cause I'm Negus Rich, King Niggas. Negus, check it out, Google it. You know what I mean? It don't stop, 8-town production. EDP, high frequency. You know, worldwide. What's up, Southside, North, East, West, H-Town, baby. Yo, I'm Negus Rich. Negus Rich. Yeah, we can fade that on out.